Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, finally, on my music channel. Yes, with this Christmas period I have been using my Stagepas speakers and my keyboard on a Christmas party at work. This was in a demonstration hall for kitchens, toilets, tiles, stones, everything that you need for construction building, but this time in a demonstration hall, so it looked very nice. It's very well suited for this, demonstrating the goods, like a kitchen, a toilet space, things like that, beautiful tiles, floor tiles, wall tiles, whatever. But they are not suited for music because of a big open space with only the ceiling having a free space for the sound to flow through, and for the rest all demonstration squares and walls and things to keep things separated and very clear to see in what part of the showroom room you are. So I took these speakers with me and I've used them to play the music. Of course, you begin very gently with the volume down, and then when the party and people starting to be more like dancing and enjoying themselves, I turned up the volume, and then after I set everything up and adjusted the sound to the space, I actually during the party went walking through the whole space to see how it sounds. And I must say, with the 170 degrees spread, which you also can get with the other speakers in this trend, I used both spacers. Now how they are set up in my home is with one spacer and then the line array speaker on top of that. At work, and when I would perform outdoors with a lot of bodies filling the room so the sound can break up, I would lift the line arrays higher so the sound has no bodies to bump on and can spread all over the space. The thing is that even worked through reflection because everything was hard and with tiled and iron. It's like an industrial space. So the reflection made it that everywhere you went in that space, the sound was very clear. You could hear a lot of detail even in the far end of that room. Of course, you're losing a lot of power the further you get away from the speakers due to the reflections of the sound. The volume isn't as high in the back of the room as it was on the front of the room. But you could even have a party at the end of the room and still be able to hear the music clearly. And not just as if it's a neighbor playing the music too loud. So, in a short addition to the review that I've already made on these speakers, where I actually show you how the app works, I'm not going to repeat this here. All I can say is I've used them now under several different circumstances, and other good brands will deliver the same performance, so it's actually more a review for these type of speakers than it is especially for the Stagepas 1K Mark II. But in addition to that, I must say that the performance of the speaker, so yes, that is especially valid for only them, because I have no experience with the other speakers, is that yes, they are not lying in the specification. The bass, the sound pressure levels, you actually feel the bass in your stomach when you are in the vicinity of the speakers. And I am very happy that I've chosen for these speakers with a 170 degree spread of sound, because even though they were aimed to the room and my keyboard standing in the middle of that, I would still have also a very good sound quality for myself when playing. I have been experimenting with the position of the speakers, because when I move myself too far back, so when I'm actually equal to the speakers, then the bass is more pronounced than the rest of the music. So yes, when you're setting up to play in a very big space, it is important to test before you actually do the performance, because otherwise it would be necessary for you to bring along a few headphones, so you can actually hear everything from the music instead of only the bumping, thumping bass. Because there was one keyboard workshop that I attended to with these speakers, and I've positioned myself not properly in front of the speakers. So the player, in this case me and somebody else who asked to play on my keyboard, were almost only hearing the bass because we were not positioned properly, and so we were not in the line of the throw of the speakers on top, the line array speakers themselves, because only they provide you with the highs and the mid-range and maybe the kick bass, but the low end of the sound spectrum comes from these two subwoofers. And you don't want to play your music only based on the bass in your music. So I hope this short video with a bit of an explanation helps you out in deciding to either get the 1K Mark II Stagepas speakers from Yamaha, or another good brand speaker in the line array format, because you will be happy when you're playing in a space. I have been using the old Stagepas speakers as well, with one subwoofer and two speakers on a pole, so I can also throw the sound into the space without the sound bumping into bodies. But the sound quality and the pressure level quality wasn't the same, and also, more importantly, the spread is even much narrower, so you really need to have your monitor speakers, for instance the speakers that you can get for the Genus 2, so you get your own sound as well, or play with the headphones like I said before. You really need this if you can't hear all the sounds from your music yourself. So this in a way is a nice addition, I think, in telling you the plus points of line array speakers. And I may think that the more negative thing is, since the 1100 watts that the speakers puts out are spread so wide and not being thrown to the front, I think if you're standing in front of 1100 watt regular speakers, you get more sound volume than you get in a line array. But to me, it's not only the volume that's important, it's the sound quality. And with what I've shown you in the first review of them, with the equalizer settings, couple this with the proper speakers they've used that give great clarity and a good thumping bass. And it's so adjustable that it's suitable for all kinds of music, not only dance music or keyboard music, but also classical or with an acoustic guitar, things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video of me explaining you what I feel of these speakers. Would I advise them? Yes, I would advise either these speakers or a proper other brand line array speaker. But like always, especially when it comes to sound, it needs to be good for you. So I can tell you what you need to listen to. All I can say is take a listen to these speakers and take in account the knowledge that these speakers will have a way better sound spread than a regular speaker that is only firing in front of him. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we see each other in the next video. Goodbye.